The Vanishing, not that Vanishing, not the George Slicer Vanishing.
Not that one.
Brilliant. Not
a different Vanishing.
Which was actually called Spoorloos, not the English language remake, which was called The Vanishing.
Oh, right. Okay, it's not that one.
Vanishing, which was originally called Keepers, and I have to say, I think should have still been called Keepers, but there we go. Okay, so it is inspired by the so-called Flannan Isles mystery, and it's directed by Christopher Nyholm, and it's based on, as I said, this mysterious disappearance, I think happened in 1900, in which three men who were out on the Flannan Isles lighthouse disappeared. Okay, so we know that this is the kind of the story in the background. It's one of those mysteries that much stuff is written about. So the three are James, who is Gerard Butler, who is, he's a family man, but he also looks like he could handle himself in a bar brawl, and he has to, leave his kids back behind to go off to go on to the island. And we know that the island is remote and weathered, and it's, very, very isolated. Thomas, played by Peter Mullen, who is this kind of old lag beset by tragedy and guilt and, something in his past which is haunting him. And Donald, Connor Swindells, who is this young boy learning the ropes. The lighthouse is very cold. It's very uninviting. It's very, very isolated. The lamps are leaking mercury, sort of poisonous mercury, because this is part of the stuff which is used in making lamps go. So there's this sort of sense of poison. A boat with what looks like a dead man and a trunk in it is washed up in one of the coves in the island. And in attempting to get them out of the boat, something happens. And the next thing is that the three guys find themselves with a trunk and with a guilty secret. And the question is, what do they do? What do they do? Do they open the trunk? And if they do, what do they do with the contents of the trunk? And what's going to happen to them? And more importantly, is anyone else going to come looking for it?
So what do we do now? Thomas.
Drink.
It's the same as before.
We scuttle this ship before Kenny gets back.
What if they were spotted here? Or they radioed their position?
We don't deny it. We say they stopped off for some navigational charts. We gave them the charts and we sent them on their way. Clear?
Aye.
All clear? Donald.
There's more of them.
So, as I said before, the film is got. Are you allowed to repeat what?
No, my guess is because there was clearly someone was having a drink.
Yeah.
My guess is that wasn't tea or lemonade.
So there's three of them. They are isolated. They're cut off. They have something. They have a guilty secret, and they are on this isolated island. And the question is, how is this all going to play out? The film is written by Joe Bone and Colin Jones, and it's for much of it, it kind of plays out like a sort of three-hander. And as I said originally, it was called Keepers, and the title has been changed to Vanishing, which is a shame because not only because of the confusion with the Dutch film, but also because Keepers is a better pun in the title because they're keepers, they're lighthouse keepers, but they're also keepers as in finders keepers. It's one of those films like, Simple Plan, people stumbling upon something that they weren't looking for. And then once they found it, it's like throwing this kind of explosive element into a confined situation, and how is everybody going to react? The performances are very good, not least, I have to say, by Gerard Butler, who, as we know, I have, been perhaps not entirely praising of some of Gerard's performances, because there is shouty Gerard Butler who just does the thing about turning up and shouty, shouty, shouty when he's on the submarine, shouty, shouty, shouty when he's in the helicopter, shouty, 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 whatever it is. In the case of this, Gerard Butler reminded me that he is an actor who has range. I completely believed in the relationship between the three characters, and I think the reason I did was because it's well written. It's a kind of, stripped down interior drama with this tight group of people stuck together in an isolated situation with a volatile circumstance in the middle of them, and they've all got their own demons, they've all got their own ghosts. There is alcohol, and there is mercury, and there is weather, and there is, isolation, is that you're in the middle of nowhere. And so you understand from the beginning that it's a very good setup. It's a very, very good setup. You take these, you put them there, and then you see how they all play off each other. But part of the drama is what's coming from outside, and a more important part of the drama is what's coming from inside. They have to stick together. They have to stick to the plan. But what happens if they don't? Which one will crack? Will they go off the rails? Will they become, And there was a couple of moments in the film that genuinely made me jump. I mean, like things that I didn't expect. There's a slow ratcheting up of the tension throughout it. And I confess that because of my sort of previous dismissal of Gerard Butler films, I probably went in with slightly lowered expectations. And I thought it was a gripping, taut, stripped down, well-organised thriller that just ratcheted up the tension in the right way and gave me a couple of real surprises. So I liked it. Gerard, well done.